huellas, mi amor. ¿Dónde? Por todas partes.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Here we are again, another amazing No Smoke November episode of Con Puros Compas podcast. For me, pero mire, me trajeron mi trico tri.
Tricky.
Bro, these look kind of weird, man, to be honest.
You're gonna have to.
I don't know. I don't know if I will do that.
G. Wow.
Empezando como siempre, we want to send a quick shout out to the Mexican Jay-Z on the audio and the cameras today.
Chica.
Who is, of course, our official and main sponsor of Con Puros Compas podcast, Roscoe Village. Go check it out. M4L.
MILFs for life.
Mills for less.
Less and life.
Less than like M4LL.
Yes.
But in our reality, go check out Mufflers for Less, Roscoe
sure.
Village. Is that Damon and Roscoe? Am I right? Damon and Roscoe.
Que le pongan el moflezona la mamalona.
Yeah. Right now it's a thing, right? To be loud. It's not. I was gonna say go put a silencer, but you want to be loud.
Silencer.
I don't know.
Who does that?
What isn't it like when the fucking muffler starts rattling? Don't you want to stop that?
A silencer?
But fucking.
They just
go patch it up, or what are you gonna do?
Just
Weld
starts
it?
welding stuff.
He's like a master welder. Go follow him on Instagram.
That's when you go to electric cars. No sound.
Yeah,
Don't go to electric cars because then my boy's not gonna have nothing to work on. So
fuck Teslas.
Well, general mechanic hace de todo el pinche José. Así de que cáigale Roscoe Village, people up in the north side of Chicago. M4L.
For sure.
Today is gonna be a very interesting episode. It's gonna be not the same messing, fucking around episode that we usually do.
We can't.
No, because hoy tenemos que hablar en serio y tenemos que presentar aquí our guest today. No creo que nos va a acompañar hoy a hacer esos tricotris.
I don't think it's got to be cool with that.
say no drugs.
Yeah, say no to drugs.
Hey, but then again, well, maybe he could get away with no drug test.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. We can. We definitely can. We want to send a quick shout out for our boy Scotty Muñoz, who's in the audience this evening. Mucho saludo para él.
Came through with the tacos.
Came through with the tacos and came through with our guests, bro. Yes, I went quick. I'm already gonna start my side story. Quick side story. I went to go visit Scotty at Totonilco out in Joliet, and we got to talking, and then little things right away, bro. Me agarra la atención, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my son, man, he's doing this goat roping," and then he told me about this thing with a whole bunch of goats, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, this sounds like something I'm gonna like." Yeah. So, without further ado, here's our guest for today, Con Puros Compas podcast, al buen amigo Oscar Muñoz, aka El Güero.
El Güero. Well, thanks for having us, and thanks for the invite.
Hell yeah. ¿Cómo anda? This is your first podcast ever, I would assume?
Yeah, this is the first podcast.
Poppy the Cherry?
Yeah.
A little nervous or no?
A little bit. Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but it's going to be interesting.
This is going to be interesting for sure, bro. So, for the people that don't know, and obviously we don't know because we don't know much about what you specialize in per se. I do know a little bit of you. You're young, 24-year-old young man who is graduated from the University of Nebraska.
No le ponga, compa. I think he's only 23.
23.
23, no le ponga.
24 Sorry.
No
24 is Jose,
compa.
23 Oscar. Tiene buena memoria, compa.
Yeah.
23-year-old young man. You can correct me, bro.
No, and then when he got here, he still didn't think he was young. He's like, nah,
I'm pretty old.
I'm already older. I'm already 23. We're all just like,
farmlands.
Thanks, bro.
Es que pasa rápido el tiempo.
Thanks, bro.
Me llamó mucho la atención goat roping me llamó la atención, pero me llamó más la atención when your pops told me about you were an animal science major, and me llamó la atención because I have absolutely no clue where that falls in, you know. And the little bit that we started talking right now, ahora sí que me tienes como más encajado con todo lo que has aprendido y con lo que a lo mejor ahora sí nos vas a. You're gonna educate me and my boy Bart over here, because I mean I'm a city guy, compa. I don't know how. I mean, ¿has ordeñado una vaca?
Poquito.
¿Has ordeñado una vaca?
You know what? I'm not gonna say I have because I haven't. Pero I've seen it. I've seen it done.
Oh my God!
Come on, compa. What do you mean? I was
So
there
it's the same
rancho
thing?
Y yo era supervisor, compa.
Pajarete. Pinche pajarete.
That's one other thing that I haven't done. Yeah, I know you got.
I've done a pajarete.
Sounds
It's
kind of gross
interesting.
to me.
Why not? It's not gross. Pero aquí está mi compa Oscar para que nos platique un poquito de todo lo que we are very interested in finding out about everything that entitles to, well, you know, what you majored in. And I guess I would want to ask right off the bat, like the interest in animals, because at first when your pops was telling me, I'm like, it's obviously not like a vet, right? You're not a.
There's a little bit of work involved in that, but it's not the main thing. So, I mean, honestly, the passion kind of arose when yo era bien apegado a mi abuelo cuando yo estaba chico. Y pues mi abuelo siempre le gustaba la charrería, los caballos. So siempre andaba para arriba, para abajo con él en reining shows, pues yendo a la charreada y montando a caballo, ¿verdad? Entonces siempre me han gustado los animales y tener unas gallinas, a couple of rabbits when I was younger, right? And for a while, I really did want to go to vet school. But at least I knew that I wanted to be something focused in animals, correct? So that's when, you know, college came about. Applied for different colleges, and then I ended up wanting to go to Nebraska, because Nebraska is the beef state. You know, lo que es Nebraska y Texas, that's where they grow a lot of cattle. You know, so I started out as an animal science major. That's your first 4 years as undergrad, and then you could go into vet school for your graduate school. Porque es también siendo doctor. So I mean,
so
either
it's
way,
down the same path.
The same path, correct. Okay. So I stuck with animal science, and basically what animal science is basically covering all the production of every livestock species that's involved in a farm. So from cattle, pigs, chickens, borregas, chivos, and every sector has a different operation or how you raise them. So I mean, we covered subjects from breeding and genetics, nutrition, just the different sciences of everything. Learning the anatomy. I mean, each animal has different anatomy. The steers have one true stomach and it's 4 compartments. So de ahí viene el menudo. We're basically eating stomach, you know. They digest their food differently than humans or horses do too. So it's a lot more than actually human being a human doctor, because you're trying to learn all these different anatomies. Y también cuando vas al veterinario, el animal no te dicen, me está doliendo acá, you know?
Yeah.
like we do. So it was a very interesting,
that is interesting.
Major. I'm very passionate about it. Did also a couple of internships out there. So yeah.
Because I used to watch, what's that show? Did you ever watch Dr. Poe?
The Incredible Dr. Poe?
Yeah.
And he's old school. He's old school
as hell. Yeah. I would see all the shit. He'll fucking stick his hand in there, bro. You never seen that guy?
Well, I don't think I have. I'm actually certified in artificial insemination. I guess.
Really?
Yeah. Some of the viewers are gonna be, what the fuck, you know?
Been arm deep.
So you gotta put a big ass glove.
That's what I seen.
You gotta go
sí.
through the ass of the cow, grab the cervix, and then put the semen in and deposit it.
And that's all just.
I've seen it on TV. Like I've seen that on TV. So
it's big, because when they have a very high performing bull or high performing horse, whatever the animal might be, ni modo que van a andar mandando el pinche toro para Texas y entonces para Alaska, you know what I mean? So what they do is they now ship. Yeah, they milk they milk el toro, get a bunch of dosage of semen, and then they ship it out to different states. At one time, I took my dad to some guy that raises show goats.
Okay.
And ponle que es como
show goats.
Show goats.
I didn't know there was show
Let's talk about show goats.
So this guy had the first black boar goat without any white on it. It was just a pure black boar goat, right? You know, just the color the color genetics was the big thing for
In
the market.
goats.
Yeah, I mean,
Was it shiny like the nice horses and shit?
Yeah, it was shiny as hell. Yeah, so he sold this goat for $23,000.
What?
Y entonces ya le estaba diciendo
Expensive as
el güero ya le está diciendo a mi jefe, le está diciendo, yeah, well, we sell the tubes of semen for $500 a tube. And my dad looked at me. He's like, man, he's like, if they're paying $500 a semen, I wonder what they'll pay me, dude. Now, my dad's like, I put it down the drain.
Now here's a dumb question. So, how much does it have to do with the female goat though? Like, is it for sure gonna? Was it expensive because it was obviously like a black goat?
You're paying for the genetics, so yeah, because of the black coloring and the conformation. I mean, those balls are gold to them, you know.
Yeah.
So
but is it for sure that it's gonna come out like babies will be black?
It's just like genetics. I mean, it's like you hope that if you put a black guy with a white woman, I guess, comes out the correct color, you know. Pero a veces salen más güeros, más negros, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
25,000.
Yeah, so I mean, I did todo. I mean, that's more of the show world where they're looking more for confirmation and showing them for exhibition. But then there's also the production side que they're trying to raise the best animal for market, para la carne. And that's where we might go into meat quality.
Correct.
Como ahí en la taquería, we a lot of the beef comes from Omaha, Nebraska, from the Greater Omaha Slaughterhouse.
Okay.
And what we choose is always a choice interskirt. There's select, there's choice, and there's prime steaks. And they have different marbling in there, and that's might give you a different taste, and it might give you a different tenderness en la carne cuando la estás haciendo. So obviously, the better the grade, the better the meat.
Okay.
And that comes from genetics and from feeding. When I worked out in Nebraska with one of my bosses named Mark Miles, that he was a big influence in my life and showed me a lot about the cattle operation. He bought his favorite cattle to feed out were black-coated cattle, which was Angus, the breed Angus cattle. We fed out Angus, Red Angus, Charolais, and Herefords, which are like the top breeds of meat cattle, you know. He would tell me, he's like, I got this group of steers from this ranch. I fed them out for this many years. They've always done good for me, so ya los manda al rastro, and he'll sell them on the grading scale. He's betting that he's going to get a premium price because a lot of that cattle are going to grade high. They're going to be choice or higher. Y le dan un premium a mark, you know, and that's a steak that we end up getting at the restaurant.
How many grades did you say there was?
There's select, there's choice, and prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that order.
Correct.
De abajo para arriba.
Select is the cheapest, and then you got your choice, which is intermediate, and then you got your prime.
Prime. And then these are all, I had mentioned to you earlier, we're probably, or at least I am, I don't know, my compa, he's a little smarter than me, but we're probably going to have like some dumb questions on my end, or just like, you know, I don't know anything. I want to know, but I always see all this stuff about like, am I wrong? Did I see something wrong? Like, Asia, do they have like do they have prime cattle or like really good?
Oh,
like,
the Wagyu cattle,
yeah,
Kobe beef, yeah. So that's also breed.
That's the ones that they
that's also breed related. That's also breed related or genetic related.
Okay.
The only cattle that could give you a steak with that much marbling, you know, todo lo blanco, all the fat, the intermuscular fat, is the Wagyu cattle, the Wagyu breed. I don't know what it is, but genetically they have a gene in there that produces that steak.
That's crazy.
And there's some people that will do something called American Wagyu, which is a cross between an Angus and a Wagyu. So it doesn't give you no te da asajarao like the great Japanese. Yeah. Pero te da algo leve, because I just tasted Wagyu beef, I think last year, 2 years ago. They started selling it at Costco. My dad brought
nice.
some steaks. And it was my first experience. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, I heard it's expensive and good. So I'm like, va a ser pinche oro o algo, you know?
Sí.
Pero it was a good experience. I mean, it was different because it almost melted in your mouth.
Like butter.
Like butter.
Yeah.
Pero no es algo que puedo comer cada día o échame unos pinches tacos de Wagyu. It's probably something good to have like once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
You know. But it's so interesting just knowing that it's genetic related, that it only comes from that breed, you know.
Yeah, that is interesting, man. The whole Wagyu thing. I mean, and it's expensive as shit too, I think.
Yes, it is.
So more than other.
And I mean, the reason why I'm also really passionate about the educational part of agriculture is because I went to a high school. It was actually called Chicago High School for Agricultural Sciences, and it did focus on 111th and Pulaski.
Yeah.
So all the kids to go into that school had to be Chicago residents, you know. So I used my mom's address from Chicago.
Because farmland, you have to grow your, harvest and everything.
Correct.
Right?
So one of the things that I was just shocked about is how many people are so distanced from how their food was raised. And the reason why I say that, because literally there's people that thought that chocolate milk came from brown cows, from Jersey cows. I'm like, are you being serious? No?
Like people that went to school there? Or just in general?
Yeah, people that went to school. But es que era gente de Chicago. They were still Chicago residents.
Yeah.
But it's like...
probably me and shit.
Yeah, so it's like... So I'm like, no, you're being serious? Like, they're like, yeah, well, brown milk, chocolate milk comes from brown cows. I'm like, no. Like, they still give out white milk. They just put chocolate flavoring in there.
That is fucking nuts.
So it was amazing or interesting just figuring out that people were so uneducated about how their food is grown. They really think that the piece of steak comes from the grocery, and they don't think about what it took to get that piece of steak to the grocery.
Well, I think now that I'm older, I start thinking about all that, where all the poultry comes from and how they're being fed. And now you're seeing all this, you got the, what is that store called? The Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Everything's fucking organic and grass-fed, and how important it is to some people and not. So when you made the move to go out to Nebraska, did you realize the culture over there has to be way different than the culture here, right?
I'll start it this way. So I went to school in Lincoln, Nebraska, which was still a city, just like 45 minutes from Omaha. So todavía estamos cerquitas de la ciudad, ¿verdad? Pero cuando a mí me tocó ir al internship, my sophomore year of college, if I'm not mistaken, me mandaron para Ainsworth, Nebraska, which was about, if I remember right, 3.5 hours northwest of Lincoln. If you think Kankakee, Beecher is the middle of nowhere,
right?
Dude, over there is literally the definition of middle of nowhere. I mean, I worked out there for 4 months, and I was living in a cabin, and the nearest Walmart to us was 2.5 hours in every direction.
So the internship was like in a farm?
Yeah, era un rancho. Okay. Ahí se engordaban 5,000 cabezas de ganado. He had about 1,500 acres of corn. And then he also had some mama cows. Y habían diferentes potreros con ganado engordando en puro pasto también. So there's different sectors. So I learned about every sector. But it's just amazing how it's a different culture over there. I mean, the little town was 1,500 people. Wow. Habían 2 gasolineras, 2 family-owned grocery stores. And the only chain restaurants, I guess you could say, was Subway and Pizza Hut.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how many interns would go?
I was the only one that year.
Really?
So, I mean, it's pretty cool how right there at the university, they had a lot of connects with a lot of alumni. Ya tenían ranchos. A lot of the kids that I went to school with were going to go back to the family ranch for the most part. Or we're still going to be in companies in agriculture and then work part-time in la familia de su rancho. Pero allá son ranchos que no es un ranchito como acá, that we have our hobby horses and stuff like that. Allá, they were operations where they might have 200, 500, 1,000 head of mama cows or like
that
I said. That
was their rancho.
Yeah, that was their operation. I mean, that's their livelihood. That's where they're living off. Yeah, that's what they're living off. So it's like I said, my boss had a feedlot where he fed out 5,000 head. Just a couple 3 miles down the road, there was one that 15,000 head of steers. I mean, corrales grandes y an ocean of cattle, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting learning that culture. Over there, the stars, I mean, at night, it looks like just a big sea of stars, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much of that was a little bit of a culture shock to you? I mean, regardless
I was surprised.
Yeah.
But I will say, I've always said that college was a great experience, But I learned a lot in those 3 months. I think I learned a lot more in those 3 months in that internship than in college.
You did all 4 years right there?
Correct.
Right.
Not saying that college wasn't beneficial, but the problem is that on textbook, te van a decir, oh, pues el animal tiene que ser así, así, así. But they're not taking consideration. I'll put you a prime example. On book, they say that you're supposed to let the cows go into the pasture for the summer, less than 24 hours from when you artificially inseminated them, to reduce the stress and so that they actually take the semen. Because remember, not 100% of the vacas are going to actually get pregnant. Does that make sense? The conception rate. When we artificially inseminated vacas at my boss's ranch, that day it rained. Y las trocas no iban a llegar a los potreros because they were going to get stuck. So the textbook is not taking those factors in consideration.
Yeah.
So you got to adapt or like my boss said, we're going to have to wait for a week. We're going to have to keep them in el corral chico, darles de comer alfalfa y grano. And then in a week when it dries up, we'll get them out there, Hopefully that doesn't affect the conception rate, but what could you do, So there's one thing on the book and there's another thing in real life.
So like that artificial insemination, obviously you had never done that prior to that?
No.
So then obviously, are they instructing you like, hey, look, this is what you're going to feel? This would, that's where you get that hands-on.
Correct, yeah. There was a lot of hands-on activities involved with my degree because that's the best way to learn, So when we got certified, it's trial and error. They brought 10 vacas. They had all of us students put on a glove, try it out, keep practicing.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. And talking about genetics, I was just talking to my dad on the way over here. Just how advanced in science we are because at my college, one of my professors, you guys ever gone to a PetSmart or a Walmart and saw those neon tetra fish? There's some fish that they put a neon light and they glow in the dark, the fish.
I kind of say back in the day in Walmart.
Yeah, they had like neon fish. Well, I don't know how my professor grabbed like the DNA or the gene that makes them neon or glow in the dark and put it in pigs.
What?
Yeah, I swear, I saw them because I'm all like they were like a yellowish.
I need one of those. Look, glow in the dark pig.
Yeah,
crazy.
So I got to peek inside the room right there in our college, and they had like a yellow pigment on their skin. Y ya les pagabas las luces and they glue.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, they're not allowed to come out of the college property.
Yeah, that was an experiment.
Yeah, that's an experiment. I mean, they're not going to put that in the food food chain,
Oh,
Hey, now that we're talking about pigs, let's go see another one of my dumb shits here. I see it on TikTok. What's up with the pigs when, have you seen the TikToks when they go into the pig farm and they don't move? He'll be like, hey, puto el que se mueva, and no pigs move. You never seen that on TikTok?
I think I did see that one.
Putos compas.
And then they will be like, okay, yeah, and then they start moving.
You know
what is going on with these pigs?
Pigs are actually they're very smart, intelligent animals and very curious.
Really?
Yeah, they're very smart. So, I'm not too sure. I saw a video like that, and I was wondering, too.
I'll send it to your pops next time because it'll be a dude like, watch this. Puto el que se mueva. And they just fucking nut. Like fucking hundreds of pigs, bro. They will not move. And then it's like, okay, yeah. And poof, they just start moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got something against pigs, man. When I was about 12, 13 years old, I went out there to San Rafael, Michoacan. And shout out. And I didn't know shit. So I went with my grandfather, and, I had to feed them. And it's this feed, this fucking costal, looks like sand. Yeah. And you put water in there, you gotta fucking,
mix it up.
Mix it up. And my cousins, my little cousins, my age too, but they know what's up, right? They sent me in there, and I guess you're not supposed to just put the fucking feed by you, because they're going, nah, tú no me echas. And I put it, they just fucking threw me in the air, bro.
No, that
is the story the other day.
Yeah, man.
No, I think any animal is like that, man. It's like, hasta cuando les doy de comer los chivos en la mañana, you gotta be firm on your body, man, because they'll trample you and they'll move you around. I mean, they're hungry. It's like,
yeah, pigs are an interesting. It's an interesting animal. I mean, we literally eat everything. Is that where tripas come from?
You do know why pigs don't, or why pigs go in the mud, right? They can't sweat.
They can't sweat?
They can't sweat. So the way for them to cool themselves off
is with the mud.
Is in the mud.
Is that kind of like elephants then? I think elephants is the same thing. They go and take mud baths so they can cool down.
Right. I don't know, rhinos. Yeah, and now that you're saying that.
Yeah. Is that tripitas? Is that where it comes from? Tripas?
I think tripas could come from beef too. I think
cow?
You could eat tripas in any animal. But I think los del becerro, I think trae un poquito, it might be a little thicker maybe.
What would you consider is the weirdest thing that you've ever ate?
Man. I've ate tripas, liver. At my age, there's a lot of people that look at me weird when I say I want hígado encebollado.
Yeah, it's
Jeffrey Dahmer Jr.
No,
You're going the wrong way, bro.
¿Cómo dijeron? I've been seeing some TikToks that are like, my mom made some pozole, Jeffrey Dahmer style.
Jeffrey Dahmer, man, he's something else.
Pero, I mean, weirdest, I think just like any Mexican, sus tripitas, hígado. I've tried heart before. I haven't tried sesos.
Okay.
I haven't tried sesos.
Out there in Nebraska, they didn't.
They do
try making
Rocky Mountain oysters.
I was gonna
over
say
there.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I tried it once. We were actually branding that day. A lot of ranchers out there. They're actually on the western side, northwestern and western side of Nebraska. By law, you gotta brand your cattle, and you gotta have a registered brand. Porque si van a una subasta y si llega a load of cattle, there's a brand inspector checking if it's your cattle, que no robado or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then that was a cool experience because I would go with a friend every year. Yeah, me prestaba un caballo, and then it'd be like the neighbors coming and help and stuff like that. We get all the mom and cows together, ya separamos las vacas, ya quedan los becerritos y becerritas. Yeah, you just heel them de las patas de atrás. You drag them with the horse, branding fire. Yeah, with the hot brand, you brand them,
Sheesh.
give them their shots, and then all the males, you cut their balls off, and so they can't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y a comer.
And then they would put them on the iron. Y ya se calentaban and just pop them.
You tried it?
Yeah,
How was it?
just chewy a little bit. It was a little bit
Little
chewy.
gamey?
No, it's beef.
We're talking about those huevos, right?
Yeah, los huevos.
All right.
Yeah.
Because you guys didn't say Rocky Mountain oysters.
That's what it is.
Like,
You ever tried it?
no.
Would you try it?
Probably not.
If you try that, you'll try balls.
That's right. This is just shit, right? This is fucking shit. Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe. Why not?
Sesos, I've never. Maybe I've accidentally tried sesos.
I heard that it's a weird texture.
Yeah, it is. You never had like cabeza? Like tacos de cabeza?
Yeah.
I mean, they'll mix it in there,
know.
man.
It's in there
Todo a
too.
vapor. They'll mix it in there, cachete y pinche lengua y un pinche pedazo de seso ahí pa que adorne ahí el pinche cecito.
Sheesh.
It's an acquired taste, that's for sure.
Correct.
That's most definitely. So then you do your 4 years out there, you do your 3 months then of internship. And that has nothing to do with any kind of, this is all poultry, right? Like there's nada que ver como con produce, none of that kind of thing.
No, I didn't really dabble too much in the vegetable side. That was more there's a major called agronomy that works more with the soils and crops.
Yeah.
I had some friends that were crop scientists or crop science.
Yeah.
And focus more on that. On my internship, I did a little bit of crop work, just disc up the land, and that's about it.
Totalmente otra ciencia también, ¿verdad?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, I think everything has its science behind it.
Yeah.
And it goes very deep. Like we were talking about earlier, and I've heard it a lot in the egg industry. By 2050, they're expecting 9 billion people population for the whole world, and the big question is, how are we gonna feed those people?
Yeah, how do we keep up with that?
One professor told me, he's like, no es tanto el poder de un país, no es tanto your weapon security, it's more your food security. Si traes comida, viven, pero si no traes comida, ya, you know. So that's what we were talking about. It sucks that we're coming out in the egg industry. We're coming out of more of the traditional way of growing your food, like our abuelos did in Mexico or whatever, and we're going more into an industrial production in a way. But that's because society's forcing that, because we gotta meet the need of our consumption by any ways that we can. I mean, there's less land, there's more and more houses being built, there's more businesses and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's bad, but they just gotta think that now we don't have a lot of land to work with, so we're kind of growing vertically up in a way now.
Yeah.
I mean, you even here in downtown, they got rooftop gardens nowadays. I don't know if you ever heard of aquaponics. Where they're growing tilapia fish in tanks.
Okay.
Using like the dirty water, the shitty water, and they go through the crops or like lettuces. I think even wheat. I think they do the same thing with, and the roots get the nutrition from it's fertilized water basically.
Yeah.
You know. So
that's
that's indoors. They're growing it all over. So it's like there's so much technology in how they're growing food now. And not all of it is bad. There's a lot of myths. You'll see all the documentaries on Netflix, on all those streaming sites. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's been some rough patches and some operations that have done some sketchy stuff, but then there's also a lot of people that do it right. Like my boss out of Nebraska. I mean, yeah, it's a big operation, but I mean, he raises those animals like they're part of his family, I guess you could say.
Unfortunately, do you think that it's more of a nowadays, and maybe in the future, it's going to be less of the good people doing it the right way because of the demand?
I think what might get affected by that is when big companies and industries going to those small farms. Out in Wisconsin used to be the milking state.
Yeah, the dairy state, yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of those little farmers that had 50, 100, 150, 200 cows, they're sold out already. They had to sell out because to make a living off of that, now you got to have over 1,000 milking cows.
Sheesh.
So it's like the companies are pushing out all the little guys, and yeah, now it's forcing the big companies to own those big operations and doing it by volume, not really caring so much about the animals' well-being so much. I mean
that. Going back to that podcast that I told you about, that's a lot what he talked about.
Correct.
The industrial way. Unfortunately, that's the problem. That doing it the other way does not work for the amount of people or the amount of land we have. You know, it's just so much more.
Just to show you like the mentality of maybe some more traditional operators, like with my boss Mark, he could tell me, you know, he might have un corral de 120. 150 becerros in un corral, and he'll tell me, he's like, hey, tag number 33 is a really friendly steer. If you see him walking out there, he'll probably come up to you and you could pet him, you know, because you know they all have their tags as identification, just in case one gets sick and you got 20 black ones. Well, you're like, shit, which one was it? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's so he knows the personality. Same thing with me with my goats. Once I have them for like a week or so, I could tell you which one will come up first to the food, which one might be friendly, which one is kind of crazy to mess around with. You know what I mean? Like, you get to know each of their personalities.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of
sounds
it sounds kind of stupid. I know that they're all gonna go to market, van a ir para la birria, lo que sea, you know. But you just
that doesn't make you feel a certain way.
At first it did, but they gotta work for themselves, you know.
Yeah, it's a rotating cycle of life.
Correct.
I think, right?
Yeah. So it's I just think that we're getting away from the traditional side, and it sucks. But that's where it's going. I
really like the way your professor told you. It's not too much about the weapons. It's more about the food.
I guess the strength of a country is food security, is from what he told me. I mean, we would all think it's money and weapons, which is a big factor.
You need it, yeah.
Pero si traes comida, por lo menos sobrevivimos y ya.
But that was since like back in the day, I would assume. You know, I'm just going off fucking Game of Thrones, right? But everyone's like, hey, we can't go to war yet. Yeah. We still gotta, get all this
Make
food.
It to the winter.
Yeah.
And blah, blah,
that
blah.
was the main thing, because remember, if a damn army can't live throughout the winter without food, but they got all the weapons, pues que les sirve?
Yep.
You know?
Exactly right. My men are weak. They have not ate. Yeah. All that shit. We need some ale and we need some fucking food.
Como dijo Braveheart, for Scotland.
Yeah.
Uhtred of Bebbanburg.
Yeah, that's fucking. It's always been a thing. Obviously, you need that fuel, the human fuel, to be able to work and to be able to fight and to be able to keep going in life.
Like, one thing that I do respect a lot, that I think made a big impact in the ag industry was, you guys have ever heard of Fair Oaks Farm out in Indiana? It's just probably like an hour away from here.
Okay.
I think it's a big 25,000 head milking parlor, milking farm. But what they did over there, they made it into a tourist attraction too.
Okay.
Where they had their farm operating like normal. But they also have field trips go through there. You could take your kids over there, and they'll take you in school buses, take you through each barn de las vacas, enseñarte dónde duermen, cómo comen, how they're milked, because they have like a carousel, it's called. On de las vacas, they're trained, they already know, they want to get milked every day porque están bien llenas, you know. So they'll go directly into the carousel. Yeah, they're getting milked, and then by the time that they're done with the 360, yeah, they back off, they're done milking, y ya se van para atrás para su cama.
They already know.
They even have this thing called the quiet barn, where like there's 25,000 cows. They have becerritos being born every day. So ahí meten las vacas. They have seating, like almost like an audience thing.
Damn.
Ya te sientas con tu familia, and you can see the cow having its baby, because it's a window, and it's interesting because it's just everyone's quiet, and they're like, look, and the kids are like, wow, that's where they come from, you know. And it's like, yeah, and then you got to explain how they got there.
That's in Indiana?
Yeah, that's in Indiana. So
Oh,
it's
that's
a great,
pretty
and they made a hotel now. They got a restaurant. So I'm like,
next vacation.
Yeah, la verdad sí lo supieron hacer porque primero que nada they could keep doing their passion of raising animals,
Of course.
and they found a different income stream to that operation.
Yeah.
Just because of distance. But there's so many attractions out west that you could stay for a weekend at a ranch. With una familia que se dedica a eso, they'll take you on a horse, they'll take you on a cattle drive, and explain to you and educate you about all these different things. Yeah, you might pay, but it's a cool experience that for families that live in Chicago that are never probably going to step up to a ranch again in their life.
You might as well go to somewhere where they know what they're doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean
That is interesting, bro. To me, that's interesting.
For sure.
I mean, that's just the thing that, they didn't offer that before. And I think that the ranchers probably didn't want to offer that before either.
There's a lot of people that might be closed-minded still, like especially ya los viejitos que they're like, nah, you know, city slickers, this and that.
Yeah, goddamn Yankees.
Yeah. But then there's a lot of people that are, you know, especially my generation that's going back to a farm, putting in new stuff into their family generational farm to make ends meet. You know, porque ya...
Yeah, they got to figure it out, right?
Yeah, back then you could have all your kids in the ranch working. You know, there's a job for everyone. Pero ahorita, they even sometimes struggle for just one kid coming back to the farm. So then they're like, okay, me couples. Like I had this friend that the only way that they were able to go to the farm was by adding another enterprise. What I mean by that is they already had a cattle operation. Well, when I was in school, Costco, now that I just remember, Costco opened up a big chicken plant, slaughter plant, right there in Fremont, Nebraska.
Okay.
So they were trying to find farmers that wanted to put chicken barns in their farms to grow out the chickens for Costco. Para los pollos rostizados.
The $5 chickens.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that. There's a big documentary on that.
Yeah, so check this out. So they had to put about 400 and something barns that they had to like basically sell out. So I know that there was this lady that was coming to our college and giving us seminars and saying, oh, well, you know, here's the plans, más o menos the projected price that you're going to be paying, how much we're going to pay you, this and this. That'll be bonito, right? There's some stuff that I question about it, but still, it was something. So that friend I think she opened up 2 or 4 barns at her family farm, and that was her sector on the farm. So that was a way for her to come into the family farm again and kind of have a portion of it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And to a point that, I mean, I highly doubt this, because this would be such a dumb business decision maybe. But supuestamente me estaban diciendo that Costco was going to actually be losing money on this whole portion of the business because el pollo rostizado was just an incentive for you to go shop in Costco or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it was like the hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like my
more
dad,
than the pizza? Because the Costco pizza.
No, more than the pizza, but they have a
it's like my dad was saying, he's always told me, he's like, why do you think they put the milk all the way in the back of the store? Because most of the time I just want to go for a gallon of milk, but then you're like,
walk through everything.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Let me get some Oreos. Let me get some cereal.
Yeah.
Vámonos, y ya te gastas unos $50-$80, you know?
Yeah, it's like
Cuando lo más ibas a ir por la leche.
It's like the whole McDonald's. You want fries with that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that one too. McMillions. It's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They have a big Costco documentary about that $5 chicken and how they're bringing them up the wrong way. You know, like because they're so cheap. They're like deformed chickens, is what they're saying.
Yeah, I think one of the sectors that have been hit the most with social media and documentaries has been the poultry industry. It's rough. Tyson was a big. They targeted Tyson pretty bad.
Yeah, Tyson
I
Foods.
mean, to the point that I think Tyson's contract said that those ranchers, if I had a contract with Tyson and I was growing chickens for them, I can't open my doors to you and show you how my chickens are being raised, which makes it even sketchier.
Of course.
But the problem is that I think one of the animals that have been genetically altered the most, or evolved, I guess you could say, has been the broiler chicken, which the broiler chicken is a breed for meat chicken. I mean, those chickens are ready in 5 to 8 weeks. Cuando
Para los chicken nuggets.
no, for the whole damn. Yeah, for like a 6 pound chicken, 6 to 8 pound chicken.
Okay.
And when it normally takes un pollo del rancho, at least a solid year para que
esté bien
para que
gordito.
esté gordito, un año, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a big documentary on that they were doing. They were deformed because they were doing it.
So the problem with them is that they grow so big, but I think what they haven't been able to fully successfully fix has been the bone structure. From my knowledge that they've told me is that the animal, el pollo will grow big, but the bone structure won't grow as quick. So that's why a veces if you see them in the videos, caminan and then se quedan aplastados, caminan y quedan aplastados because of that bone structure, which makes sense because I think bone is probably one of the hardest parts of your body to grow and to heal.
To mature up.
Yeah, and the thing is that chickens have a high mortality level. I mean, de miles de pollos, ¿cuántos también se te van a morir, you know, from different causes?
Yeah, that was the thing. They did a little undercover camera I had seen, and a lot of them couldn't even walk. They were so fat, compa. They were so fat. They were just boom on their side, fucking just.
Sí, porque la verdad, hasta a mí me traumó una vez que yo antes me gustaban mucho los gallos finos, así no peleaba gallos o nada, pero me gustaba just raising los gallos de pelea. But one time I had bought some broiler chickens at a Tractor Supply for my little brother, and I had some chicks de los gallos, right? And they were in the same cage and stuff. And 2 weeks later, the gallos finos were still little bitty things. Y los pinches pollos de carne ya, they look like little dinosaurs. I'm like, no mames.
That is nuts.
I'm all like, I'm feeding them the same thing, feeding them just normal chicken feed. I'm not pumping them up with anything. You know what I mean? So that's a big myth that they pump them up with stuff. Just like we were talking about, the big thing in social media is antibiotics.
Yeah, you were
antibiotics
saying about that.
is a medicine to help them out. Si se te enferma, they get sick. So like for instance, when I was working at the feedlot, every day, like at least every other day or every day, especially every week, we had to walk pens. Walking pens meant that I go to every corral, walk slowly through the cattle, kind of look for cattle that are sick, any signs, especially after they feed. After they feed, all the cattle should be in the feed bunk eating their grain, right? If you see one out distance, normally, they don't have appetite, so there's something wrong with them. So those were signs, So ya entre el día sacamos 1, 2, 3 de los 5,000 becerros. Doctor them is what we called it. We would take them up to the chutes, lock in their head, give them the injection, and in their ear tag, we would give them a notch. The notch meant that they had been treated sometime in their life at the feedlot with antibiotic. Pero, like I said, it would be like 2 or 3 at a time, not out of how many thousands a head.
And the big myth is that they constantly
all get antibiotic, and they automatically put antibiotic into the feed.
Y como todo, antibiotic
is an expense.
Equals expense, correct.
There was a bottle, I think it was Draxxin, I think it's the antibiotic. I think that bottle, depending on the size, is over $1,000 for a damn bottle. Like, shoot, if you break one of those in front of your bottle or just break one of those in the concrete, you're fucked.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so
fucked.
it's obviously not convenient.
It's not convenient. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. So it's like I was telling you, los chivos, I only give them when they're sick. Pero yo no voy a hacer el gasto. And another thing, by law, there's a withdrawal period on each of those antibiotics. Yo no puedo mandar un becerro al rastro when they've had antibiotics that same week. It depends on the antibiotic and the withdrawal dates, right? But if they find a trace of antibiotic at the slaughterhouse, and it's traced back to your ranch, you'll get a big fine for that. You get in a lot of trouble for that. So I mean, I will say that the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, does take all that very serious on the quality of animal. You can't. En México sí pasa mucho que andan mandando animales ya pues enfermos o lo que sea, you know.
Sí.
Pero aquí en Estados Unidos they're pretty
That ain't gonna
strict on
happen.
the food security, on the food sanitation and such of the animals.
When you were in school, how much did you have to learn, or did you learn of? I was just remembering we were talking about all this. It was a big deal years ago when Oprah Winfrey did the whole mad cow disease. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah, I'm not totally educated about that. I know it was a big thing,
And the
and don't quote me on this, but I think they stopped selling brains de becerros in the United States.
for a while they had even stopped selling like menudo, right? Do you remember that or not?
I think there was certain I don't know what year it was, but I think it was certain organs, because the thing is that it was a neurological disease.
And how does that happen? Do you know? Like, do you?
You see, I if I remember right, and don't quote me, but I think that whole mad cow disease was a lie,
Was it like a
or like
little
a myth,
as
and
well?
it was done like a big deal about it.
Sheesh.
Just like the same thing as the E. coli,
Yeah.
the whole E. coli stuff. There's so many factors that's involved in that. It could have either been traced back from the slaughterhouse. It could have been traced back from los propios trabajadores. Because all it is like, what you go take a shit, you don't wipe your ass, and you don't wash your hand. Or you do wipe your ass, and then you don't wash your hands.
Right.
Y te vas a trabajar and you're touching the meat. It's not sanitary. So it's like you don't know where the true
Where
cause
really,
was.
yeah.
And
Yeah, the mad cow thing, on that pod, they said that it was more of a thing in Europe.
yeah,
And then it just turned into...
a bigger thing. The
Yeah,
thing is that
everywhere else,
volvemos a
but
lo
it
mismo. Every country has their different standards on
Yeah.
on the sanitation. I will say that the U.S. does take it very serious. Another country that I got to visit I went to study abroad in New Zealand.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that was a great experience. Over there, I really thought that that our country is strict on environmental laws. Over there is otro pedo. I mean, over there they live off of their naturaleza, like for tourists and stuff like that. So they take it very serious out there. They grow a lot of sheep out there, dairy cows. But the funny thing is that over there, almost everything's grass fed. A lot of the grass fed beef that we get here in the U.S. is from New Zealand. So
New Zealand. They pay you with kiwis out there? Is that what it is?
yeah, los kiwis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
it's
never even thought, damn, how long were you out there for?
23 days only.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a short little thing, but it was very beautiful out there.
I bet,
we went
man.
all around the South Island, and we would stop in different cities, and it's so interesting going from. I mean, the island is not exagerado de grande.
They got like exotic animals out there.
Yeah,
Right?
where they'll the island, the terrain will change all around. When we're on the coast or inland or going up north, going down south.
Yeah.
Over there, they even raise. They're called red stags, which are deer, and the antlers will shed out like a velvet, almost like furry looking thing. I don't know if you ever seen pictures when it's red. Like it looks like their antlers are bleeding, and I guess it's I think it is called velvet or irony. The Asian market uses it a lot for medical uses.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another enterprise that they have out there.
Goddamn Asians, bro.
Dude,
They don't fucking.
They don't fuck around.
They don't fuck around.
they'll use any animal, every animal.
Bro, they do. I heard they do like tiger stew, tiger bone stew. Yeah, man.
They'll pay money for. You heard about the whole rhino and elephant tusks, right?
I've heard
Yeah.
that.
Hasta los traen, hasta en África, no sé qué pinche rhino que tenían protegido 24 horas because.
Yeah, man.
And when we went to one time we went to Disney World and we did the behind the scenes at the Animal Kingdom, and they were saying that a lot of zoos, what they're doing now is on purpose cutting off the horn of the rhino, because I guess in some zoos they were going in there overnight shooting the rhino, cortándole con the sawzall the horn. Y vámonos.
That is
It's like seeing a Cadillac converter.
It's like seeing the Cadillac. That's a great analogy.
Like, fucking see the Cadillac converter.
Let's get that
in
rhino
the
horn.
wild. Fuck, that's wild.
So yes, I mean apart
Don't
from
let
the
the wrong person hear this. They'll be at the Lincoln Park Zoo. trying to fucking
And see the rhino's horn.
And I mean, apart from the whole food and production side of things, we've also been dabbling with ropings, both team roping with cattle and goat ropings.
So that's the other one I wanted to talk to you about.
Because right now he threw out a number that I was like,
which one go about?
75. You said you guys slaughtered 75.
No, goat. That's something else. No, we're talking about goat roping, compa.
Roping.
Yeah, lazaderos.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Are you good with the rope?
I wouldn't say I'm good. I know I've done it. You know?
You've done the roping.
I've missed a bunch of cows, but for sure.
Back in your jaripeo days.
I've never.
Fuck yeah.
But you actually got one?
No. I said I missed a bunch. I don't think I ever got.
You never got one.
Probably not. I tried.
That's crazy.
We're gonna get you guys as professionals soon here.
Talk to me about that, man. When did you start that?
Yeah, so I mean, el que la verdad brought us into the roping world was unos amigos, Ciro López y su familia y Gio Ontiveros y su familia, que les tengo que dar mucho crédito y and appreciation that they were the ones that took me under their wing and really taught me about the team roping world. So that's where we really started. It's basically it's a two-person team. One catches the head of El Becerro, the steer, and the other one catches the back legs. And it's a timed event. So when you come out of the boxes, you come out parallel, the steer comes in the middle. The header catches there's a header, catches the head, the heeler catches the back feet. When they put tension, they stop time, and the average time wins the money. You know.
What is an average time?
It depends on levels. I mean, there's levels to everything. Hay unos lazadores chingones. I'm more of a beginner. I'm a number 3. So they have a number scale where it starts with 3, and if I'm not mistaken, a 6. So I'm barely at a 3, and the competitions will be leveled. You know, if it's a roping for number 12, son los chingones that they're catching anywhere from 3 to 6 second runs. And like usually like around here locally, the competitions that we've gone to, 8 seconds, 7-8 seconds is a good run. 9 seconds is still acceptable and stuff like that. But there's also penalties. If you don't catch if you catch one leg, it's a 5-second penalty. If you pass the barrier, a barrier is basically if you get kind of a head start, there's like lasers. So if your horse passes the laser before the steer passes his laser, you get a 5-second penalty there too.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like tiene su chiste like any sport, you know. So we were able to dabble a few years ago. Cito was the one that kind of taught us on how to organize, how to produce a good roping. Where we had a competition right there at my grandma's ranch that, gracias a ellos, you know, gave us opportunities to use her facilities. Where in the morning we had a barrel race, you know, barrel race, las barrilistas. The girls who go on three barrels in time. Yep. So in the morning, the girls did the barrel racing, y ya en la tarde, we roped en la tarde.
Is that like a... I mean, does it get pretty competitive then?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you got
does.
the people that are really, really good.
It does. I mean, you know, it's a lot of American market, obviously, because the American rodeo.
Right.
But Cito and Gio were really the ones that pushed, you know, los mexicanos meterse más en el deporte, which was awesome, you know. Even gave a different environment for people too, porque pues ya llegaron los otros países con el pinche tequila, con el tequila, cerveza y...
Why is asking bringing a banda?
Well, Ciro does a rodeo every year y a veces lleva el tamborazo, y una vez que me tocó ir al azar y ya éramos los últimos para el azar, one of the few teams. And, you know, I was nervous because I was barely starting in the team roping, right? And it was dark already. I'm like, shit, y el otro. And I'm in the box, you know, backing up the horse in the box, tucking in my rope. Y que empiezo a escuchar el pinche tamborazo. Just like, I'm like, gosh, this is not helping.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So but it's a great experience. So yeah, it does get competitive. I think if I remember right, that week, one of those competitions, we had about 175, 200 teams going.
Oh shit!
Between the two ropings, you know, we all pay our entry fee, which is called, you know, that could range from. I mean, there's competitions that are from $150 to $300 las entradas, and then there's a payback percentage. You know, they'll pay back 70-80% of the money back for los premios.
Nice.
And I mean, every roping is different. Where there's some people that will just offer money. There's people that will offer buckles as for first place. People that offer saddles. Ya si te vas a Texas at the big ropings, you could win a brand new dually pickup.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Right now in Vegas, they're getting ready for the NFR, which is the finals rodeo, which is like the Super Bowl rodeo, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And they're making a roping out there with $10,000 added.
You go out to that or no?
No me ha
To go
tocado.
see it, I'm saying?
I was planning on it this year, but I didn't get a chance to it, but I do plan on going to that.
Yeah.
I heard it's a really nice experience.
Excuse my ignorance. This is just strictly goat because I've seen
This was the cattle. The cattle team roping that we were talking about.
Okay.
The goat thing is the same principle. It's more of a for fun thing, and sin caballo.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll explain to you about that. The goat roping is in a smaller arena. You know, the cattle roping is in the whole arena. Yeah, in the goat roping, it's fun too because I was able to find these panels that are only 4 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And you make like a mini arena. It's probably like unos 40 feet wide by unos 50, 60 feet long.
By that you mean like a mini lienzo?
Yeah, like a mini lienzo,
Yeah.
just in a rectangle. And like I said, you don't need horses. All you need is a little rope, delgadito. Los chivos, same principle, head or healer, but just with goats.
Yeah.
And it's fun because everyone's sitting around, everyone's standing around right there, right, all crowded.
Right.
And ya que falla un amigo, chinchero, este y el otro. And I feel like it gets actually more competitive in the goat roping than the team roping. I think just for the simple fact that it's fun and you're crowded right there. Y es menos dinero,
Right. It's more. It's just more fun.
And
right?
I think it's even more interesting because the goats are not cattle. So I mean, the goats will move all funky. They'll drag their feet. Los tratas de arrastrar y meten las patas ahí. So it's trickier in a way, to be honest. In my opinion, it's trickier to catch goats.
Yeah.
O a veces que lo tiras, pero your loop is too big y se lo traga el chivo, so he runs right through the loop and you're like, shit.
Wow. The cattle one, which one is the one that I've seen where they, it's all about like tying them up too?
That's calf roping.
Okay.
That's calf roping, which is just one guy
Yeah.
has to catch the calf, has to get off his horse, flip down the calf, y amarran las tres patas. I mean,
you don't dab on that?
No, I haven't tried that. I mean, I'm trying to first learn how to properly rope good, and then maybe go into other things. The other thing is that sometimes, dependiendo del caballo, a ver si se presta, because every suerte has its own chiste, y a veces también los caballos tienen que saber cómo moverse. I mean, yeah, you could. Some people say that you could take any horse, but I mean, there's a technique to it. And there's some horses that are very good at literally anything. There's some horses that are just good at one certain thing.
You also have to train the horse and everything.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm by no means I'm no horse trainer, and for la taquería we hardly have time. So
yeah.
I was able to conseguir un caballo allá en Mexico that was being used a lot in team roping, and really got lucky with him, and I really enjoyed that horse. Really,
that's what you have it now.
Yeah, I named him G-Wagon.
Damn, I like the name.
He es un pinto. He's black and white, and pues he wasn't too cheap, Neither. So I'm like, man, pues qué le pongo? I'm like, he's white and black.
It
I'm
wasn't
like,
too cheap either. So
it wasn't too cheap. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, he's black and white, and he was a little expensive. I'm like, that's my G-Wagon. That's my G-Wagon right there,
That's your G-Wagon.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
So and like it was interesting because the guy that I actually bought it off of in Mexico, he was a paid charro.
Okay.
So you know how in Mexico la charrería is like the football in the U.S. So I was talking to him, and he actually he retired charrería, and he's probably like in his late 20s, early 30s. He retired from charrería and went full time into team roping.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he was getting paid pretty good as a charro. And he's like, look, Oscar, the problem is that con charrería es muy bonito. But he's all like, man, every Friday I would have to drive all the way to Puebla, charrar that whole weekend wherever they were going to drive to, and then come back on Monday ya bien puteado. He's like, y así me la llevaba todo el año, cada fin de semana. He's like, in team roping, you choose the roping that you want to. It's like, if this weekend there's one, si tengo chance, asked my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, ¿me puede ayudar? You know, can I go to this roping? Sale. But I'm not going every weekend. A lo mejor una vez al mes, you know. And I pick and choose which roping I want to go to.
Maybe what's more convenient, obviously.
Yeah, what's more convenient. Or si traes chance, pues ya subes al caballo en la trailer y vámonos. And you're back the same day.
Yeah.
You know, ya pagas tu entrada. You get a chance to win some money. Si lo ganas bien y si no, pues...
Had fun.
Yeah, had fun.
Yeah. At the bare minimum, you had some fun.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. And when did you get that horse?
Got him in... I saw him in February y llegó March, April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, allá en Lagos de Moreno.
My compa likes to montar, if you will.
I was just remembering.
I
Remember
know.
when I posted that picture and fucking montando in shorts and shit, and everybody was talking shit.
Well,
Dude, who does that, bro?
Come on, compa, I do that. I get on the horse whenever.
no, that's what I was about to tell you. So like, él sí,
Oh yeah.
sí le doy mucho.
Next thing you know, it's gonna be Bart and your dad in fucking shorts.
Le doy mucho
Fucking
crédito.
horses.
Le doy mucho crédito a mi papá because you know how he's a big social guy. I get a little bit more nervous sometimes, especially. I mean, I'm working on that, but like on the days of the roping, you know, I just wanted to make sure that the event was good and stuff. He was the one that says, "Ya cálmate." Just
He's out breaking the ice.
he's breaking the ice and everything.
Yeah.
Putting
He's like,
up on the horse in
he's like, hey,
shorts.
mijo. He's like, why don't you make it a theme roping? And I mean, all the other roping we've gone to, just show up and go rope, do your thing, y vámonos, right? He's like, do something fun, do something different. And he's like, how about Hawaiian theme? Porque for some reason, I mean, don't ask me why, I don't know why, but there was a while there that me estaba poniendo like some goofy shirts, like a blue shirt with flamingos on it. Y era de la camisa de la suerte, decían.
Nice.
You know, because I would do better in those days. So then my dad's like, let's do a Hawaiian theme. I'm like, all right, that's fine. He's like, y de hecho, me voy in shorts and botas and a Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, are you really going to do it? He's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to do that. So he's like, and you better get the goofiest shirt that you could find. So I found a pink flamingo, like
Just
neon pink with flamingos on it. Ya me la puse. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people actually participated in it and they had fun. And my dad was echándole shots a todos. Some of the ropers were like, I can't drink right now, blah, blah. I can't drink tequila. And yeah, mi papá dijo, pues, dude, I gotta. yeah. He's like, I gotta give, you know, make it better odds for my son to win because he's all like, he ain't that good.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man.
That was
So al final,
con maña, bro.
y entonces mi abuela que hizo su.
I said fair and square. We're gonna fucking.
Yeah, I did win.
It worked.
Look.
It worked.
I gotta say this to all the viewers, man, porque es una cosa que it's been rough, but for some reason, dude, there's no way to cheat. It's a timed event. There's no way to cheat. But for some reason,
But
every
you guys
event that
found
we
it.
no, every event that we've done, I win a placing, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's
the
the
ones that you guys have hosted.
yeah, and those are the only ones that I could win.
Those
to
are
be
the only
honest.
ones you placed in.
That I placed.
Wow.
I don't know if si son los tacos o qué.
You got the home field advantage, bro.
Oh,
That's
si
why.
son los nervios that I'm like, I gotta do something right here or whatever. But it was a fun day. I think my grandma even made pozole or something y ya nos traímos a todos. I mean, hasta gente que apenas conocimos ese día that came in and competed. You know, we tried hosting them like family, and some people stayed in their trailer there because there's some people that would travel 3-4 hours away. So yeah.
Oh, and they come and set up shop there.
Yeah, a lot of those guys have trailers that they have living quarters.
Yeah.
So it's una trailer with like a mini apartment inside, you could say. And yeah, they would say, you know, can we keep the horses in some stalls? Yeah, pues ahí están. Y yeah, they would stay the night, ya en la mañana se iban. But it was fun. I mean, really fun, and hope that we could do it again. There was a big pause on that because 2 years the barn had collapsed from the big snow weight. A few years, so it's barely coming back up slowly but surely.
Is that generally obviously like a summer fall thing?
We were trying to push more for the winter because of the indoor.
Indoor.
Because of the indoor barn.
Yeah.
We're doing this all in the indoor arena.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I mean, there's so many places to go rope out during the summer, but during the winter there's not too many.
Yeah, that's a good fucking strategy there.
Yeah,
too.
because honestly, like, there's a indoor arena in Indiana that's like about 2 hours from here. There's another one that's probably like an hour and a half, and there's another one that's like 2 hours and a half. So those are like the closest ones.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard ya con la gasolina y todo to be going to them.
Sí, está más difícil. You give everybody that market here.
I think it's a very centralized location. Y también se viene mucho la raza to come and compete or try it out, which
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy more. Like I really hope that we could bring in more of la raza to come and try it out.
Do you see it? Have you
Yeah,
seen it?
it's been growing. It's been growing, especially like even a lot of charros are starting to get into it, especially during the winter. During the summer, they want to stick to charreria.
They do the thing.
But
yeah.
during the winter, they like to come more to because there's nothing for them to do. There's no charreria, so they'll get interested in the roping side of
I
things.
think Jose's gonna be down for some goat roping.
Heck yeah,
Bro,
no.
next time you do the Hawaiian one, at least we'll
You're
go
down.
and dress the part. We'll dress the part.
Hell yeah.
I'll put on my Hawaiian shirt.
Si Dios quiere, we could do one in December. Do an ugly sweater.
Ugly sweater. I like that.
Only if I could wear shorts and montar.
Heck yeah.
You and Scotty, bro. You and Scotty got it. The short
Oh,
team.
fucking hoes.
You guys will be giving out the shots to all the, the competitors.
Hell yeah.
So my boy Oscar can win.
First place.
That's one thing that I want to do bring up. You know, the more and more that my Goba Bar's still fairly young. You're the youngest one here in the panel, but I've been through so much and I've seen so much that I have seen the young generation really, really, I don't want to say adapt to, but really accept the whole rancho living and the culture of the rancho culture, because it wasn't as popular. Let me tell you that much back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the main things is that what's the saying? The history repeats. Every
It's a
era,
cycle, huh?
every era has like I said, like we were just talking about. People were getting so distanced from farming that now it's kind of making a comeback because now there's those tourist attractions that are bringing you back and showing you. So it's like a cycle, you know. So
Yeah.
now there is some city people that are actually interested in it, or there's people that are actually moving out there y comprándose a little acreage
Un
y
terrenito ahí.
tener su caballo y tener su chivo, lo que sea. Y and I enjoy that, you know.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with just the way the world is going and how fast it's moving, that there's a lot of people that are having all this information in the palm of their hands that they rather say, you know what, I'll do my own harvesting, I'll do my own, bringing up my cows and my chickens and, todo lo que uno puede hacer.
Well, yo me pongo a pensar, it's like, just because I was raised into it,
Right.
so I mean, maybe I would have a different mindset. Pero yo a veces me pregunto, I'm like, shit, what would I be doing if I just, estábamos viviendo aquí en una casita y sin... It's an expensive hobby, don't get me wrong, or it's a hard hobby, con los chivos a veces I go feed one, I go feed them and uno anda malo, uno está muerto, just part of life,
Yeah.
And it sucks. You have your hard days, but then you also have your night, your fun days, with it, or you enjoy your horse. But I wouldn't change that for anything else. I'd rather spend my money on that than I don't know,
Than anything else.
doing other stuff. Yeah.
So then, for you personally, the end goal, is it something along the lines of where you went to intern, like something that's a Midwest thing? Would you want to have, a good amount of
acreage?
Acreage, and then tus animalitos, tus vacas y todo eso, tus puerquitos y, I mean, what is your end goal at the end? Like, where is this career path gonna take you?
Yeah, so I mean, apenas llevo, like a year and a half that I came out of college.
Yeah.
Going through a lot of different experiences and lessons. So in a damn year, you learn so much. Mistakes and good stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the main things that I do really want to do is help my dad more in the family business.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I guess my dream or my ideal life would be freaking rocking it in un rancho y andar a caballo cada día. Pero la verdad, I've noticed it's a hard. It's a hard way to put food on your table. If that makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, you could put food on your table physically, ahí traes las vacas or whatever. But what I mean is, like,
but the point
you
is to
can't
make
do
something
extra.
out of it.
You can't do sometimes extra stuff because you're kind of limited.
It's
And then
high risk, low.
The problem is that
Low return on it.
as a rancher, as a farmer, you're a price taker. You're not a price putter.
I was just gonna say that.
So
You're
like
the low guy on the totem
I'll
pole.
put it this way. I mean, I work for him full time. I bought some, like, my first set of goats that I had gotten, eran como 30. And I raised them, y no es por nada, pero crecieron chingón. I didn't have a single one die, and I had them for like 4 or 5 months. Engordaron machín. I got them like at 38 pounds. They averaged at 38 pounds, and I grew them up to like 75, 80 pounds. And I was proud of them. The bad thing was when they were ready to sell, the market had dropped 3 weeks before. So in reality, I didn't make money on those. Porque iba bien el mercado, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to be decent, you know. Y dio un bajón el mercado. I'm like, shit, like you're so proud of the animal that you grew, but you're not getting what you put into them.
You're right.
You know, and that's the only way for you to keep on growing is by making a profit on them.
Where do you keep track of the market for that?
USDA has a lot of reports. So what they do is they'll collect a lot of data from all the auctions around the country.
Okay.
And start seeing what buyers are paying for them. And a lot of those big buyers that are really determining the price determination
the market.
is the big buyers that buy for the slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
Que andan llenando camiones, you know. And it's one of those things that anything could affect the market.
Oh yeah.
They'll come out with bullshit stuff. They'll come out with legit stuff. When I say bullshit stuff, I think during COVID, there was a big scandal that I think in Kansas, 10,000 steers died from heat stroke, from heat. Y que por eso la carne subió. First of all, 10,000 steers is not a lot. That's probably what one big slaughterhouse could kill like in 1 or 2 days. So that's a small portion of the full market. And second of all, a lot of feedlots had to fight with heat during the summer because you got black Angus cattle in pure sunlight. But I've never heard of a damn feedlot the next morning and saying, shit, se me murieron 10,000 becerros. So I don't know if that was an insurance fraud or something, you know?
It just may be a way to manipulate the market, right?
Exactly.
It exists everywhere.
Or the eggs. I think there's a big layer farm that burned down with millions of chickens, but it was just one farm out of the whole U.S.
Yeah.
And what dozen of eggs right now are $3-4 a dozen, when they used to be what 99 cents,
Yep.
$1 something.
$1.79, $1.50.
So they're just finding stuff to put. Oh, I was talking to you about this earlier. That when COVID hit us really bad, la carne subió un chingo, la rachera subió un chingo ahí en la taquería. And I'm like, I told my dad, I'm like, let me call Mark, my old boss del rancho. I'm like, hey Mark, I'm like, so are they paying you really good for live cattle right now? He's like, hell no. He's like, I'm losing $300 a head. He's like, I just shipped out 11 semis last week. There's 40 to 45 steers in each semi. He's like, I lost $300 on each becerro. Oh my gosh. I'm like, well, just to let you know, they jacked up the meat to us. I'm like, the real winner right there is la empacadora.
It's all those middle people,
It's all those middle people. Which, I mean, I respect the hustle, but at the same time, it's like...
No mames.
Yeah.
It's the same thing almost, with the whole stock exchange. It's just you have your big monopoly guys like Goldman Sachs and Bear Stearns and any little thing that can manipulate the market.
A stupid Twitter post and then be like, whoop.
Yeah, you see it now, right? Like AMC and, anything from Reddit. And all of a sudden it's like, it's worth all this and, GameStop and all that shit. It's the same thing.
Well, I mean, on history, they've said that if you got money in the stock market, you're supposed to make, 9-10% a year. I think now with how stupid like the markets are and how manipulative they've been, we might see a big difference. Either it's going to be like a lot more better return or it's going to be a lot worse return because, I mean, these markets are going 20%, 200%. It's like insane. Something crazy.
Yeah. In the stock, they're kind of trying to give it to the man. They're trying to these big funds, they're trying to, them lose money instead of the normal person.
Yeah, and I think they're coming out with BS corporations now too. It's like salen con una compañía that's publicly traded now, and you're like, I've never heard of that company.
Yeah.
Back then it was just like, you could put money into Apple,
Google,
Walmart, the major companies. Yeah. But now they come out with like hasta los coins. I don't know what the whole thing with the Bitcoin is.
Oh,
I really don't understand. I still don't understand.
I'm not big on crypto.
Yeah, I still don't understand the whole. It's a big debate on all podcasts, I guess, or all YouTube. Some people say it's stupid. Some people say I made a lot of money.
It's the future.
Yeah, it's el futuro. But it's like I don't see the U.S. changing our dollar to something else.
I don't see it either, man. I don't. I mean, maybe in the future, not in our lifetime. The way shit goes on too, right? But I'm not big on the crypto.
No.
I do see the craziness that's going on with all the other stocks. There was this stock called Genius that I bought into when the pandemic was going strong. I had no idea it was Genius Brands. The guy that did Marvel, Spider-Man, something Lee, Stan Lee, he died. He gave all his stuff to Genius Brands, and I bought into it like it was like 80 cents, and then all of a sudden, dude dies. Shit goes up to like $10. You know, people are becoming millionaires overnight, and then people are holding it, being greedy, holding. The next thing you know, they start figuring out, well, wait, this is worth way more than what it's really worth, and it just drops back down. It's never gone up over $1 anymore.
Yeah.
Since 2 years now, it just stuck there, and people either went very rich or se apendejaron and then didn't make any money.
I've heard a lot of people lose a lot of their savings on that, or houses too.
There's so many. During pandemic, that was like my hobby with my brother. We just started, Well, I kind of did that for a long time. Not stocks in general, but I worked at the Board of Trade, and I just like it's a lot of research for sure.
It is.
But when you say manipulating the market for beef and all that, like I understand it because even back then, even the whole what were we talking about, Oprah,
the mad cow disease.
even that
It was another scandal.
Stocks.
It was another scandal.
Yeah, that messed up the market on that also.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do believe that has a lot to do with it.
It's all marketing too.
And when you get people like Cargill and you get these big people, these big
companies,
fucking enterprises that are just they want to manipulate it in their favor for sure.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's like you would have thought that the Chipotle E. coli scandal would have brought Chipotle down, but
nope.
It was more of an advertisement scheme porque
dude,
every girl in the country likes Chipotle.
Chipotle is life. You got that little fucking kid. Yeah, right. Dude, Chipotle was awesome when it first came out, man. I mean, it was backed by McDonald's. McDonald's era el padrino. For the first 2 years, McDonald's backed Chipotle. It started so small, like at $14 when it went public. Fucking like in a year, it was already worth like $200. I mean, you became an instant millionaire with Chipotle.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll share this because it's no secret. I mean, I think the more people buy into stocks, the better the stock gets, I think, right?
Of course, it gets stronger.
One thing that we've been looking into is the Portillo stock.
Yeah.
I mean, Portillo just went publicly traded.
Yep.
And
yeah, me and your dad talked about Portillo's about a year ago.
I feel like it's a very safe. Not that I'm no expert in stocks. Honestly, that's probably the only stock that I've been buying into. But it seems like it's gonna be a successful one because they bought Portillo's in order to grow it into a big franchise. So ya cuando están establecidos, they have a lot of locations wherever they're gonna do it. Ya pues the stock should go up.
Yeah, go buy it. PTLO.
Yeah, because we're too late on the Chipotle one already.
Yeah, we're
ya pasó. So I mean, you might as well jump on, como dicen on TikTok, Portillo's to the moon, to the moon, and with this podcast, let's rock it up y subir ese stock a $100.
PTLO. I remember when your dad talked about Portillo's, and I think we bought it about the same time, and within 3 months, I think. I doubled because it just went up instantly. Yeah, and then it fucking came down.
Yeah,
I got out of it.
We got a little bit too excited.
Too happy, right?
Yeah, we didn't buy at the highest time, but
Yeah. No, you know what? And I fucked up. I fucked up in a way because I should have called Scott right away because when we talked about it, it had just went public.
You got out.
I got out of it. And when I see it double, the thing is that you obviously I learned a little something. We were making. It was already up like I don't know 70% or something. It was crazy the first 3 months.
Yeah.
It went more than double its price. So I'm like, fuck this. I got out. Did my thing, and then But I told them, and I still stand by it. I mean, Portillo's is a long.
I think it's going to be a very successful one. Yeah. I think it's going to go over $200.
And I think Scotty, I think you gave me a heads up on the electric car. Did you? Yes.
Rivian.
I bought a lot of that stock too.
Did you?
That's fucking doing great for me. I had no idea about it until he told me. I went in there, researched it for about a month, did my study, bought that shit. Been doing very well. Thank you. So that was a good one. I don't know if you guys got some of that.
Tell him thanks for letting
he
me
bought
know
into
that,
it, but I didn't buy into it.
Rivian's good, man.
I've been scared of those electric. I mean, yeah, they say that that's the future, but I feel like you got to buy it in the right time for those electric vehicles.
Yeah, well, right now's the time.
I would think right now's the time because if they really make a big law or big push for it.
Yeah, the law is a little sketchy. They're saying California, you have to be all electric by 2050. It's too sketchy, but it is. I mean, it's going that way.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's gonna go that way. But you know, the way I saw it when he brought it up, you know, Tesla's like the only guy. There's gotta be a Burger King, right?
Yeah.
Actually, talking about electric, I mean, even in farming, they have they're making electric combines now, and even self-harvesting machines.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, one big thing that before Tesla, I think before Tesla was even a thing, they already had auto steering. So this was a fun part of my internship. When I would be going down the field, the cornfield, and just disking, all I had to do is turn it, look at the screen, line it up just a little bit, and then I would press a button. Y solita, it would correct itself on the correct line through the GPS.
Yeah.
And then I would just jump on Facebook and just make sure things are good, and then jump on Facebook, scroll.
Wow.
Yeah, ya cuando iba llegando at the end, I would start beep beep, and then I would have to take it off autopilot. Ya le daba la vuelta, and same thing.
Well, that's why I think it's the way to go.
Exactly.
Jump on that
So,
electric cars.
I
man.
just asked my Uncle Junior because
Yeah.
he just got a Tesla, and I'm all like,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So I'm all like, hey, tío, I'm all like, so it drives itself, right? He's like, no. I'm like, well, which model drives itself, or cómo trabaja eso? He's like, no, dude, es que tienes que comprar un
You gotta buy
subscription.
the app. Or
Yeah, and
whatever.
then que tienes que comprar either you could buy it with the vehicle that it's like what $60,000, 16,
Yeah, extra,
or
yeah.
buy it per year or per month or something like that. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, pues tío, I'm like, ahí los tractores de mi abuela nomás le quita when we're done harvesting, quítale el GPS al
Y pónselo al pinche
Tesla.
Crazy.
It's
man.
one big yellow and green globe. Ponérselo.
Yeah.
Ahí se borra dinero.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta do another podcast with the stocks, man. But there's interesting stocks out there.
Yes.
There's
yes,
another
there is.
interesting electric car. It's called Fisker. That one's interesting as well. Pero so far, that one, el que me sugirió tu papá, has worked. I mean, I have that and I have Tesla. Y con eso, I mean, I have, you know, the typical Apple. You know, those are the always gonna give you a little something kind of thing.
When are you gonna put aguacate?
Oh man,
promotion on
go
there?
public with aguacate.
Yeah.
That'll be great. I'm not gonna say never, right? Because uno tiene que seguir
You never know.
soñando. But when we do we had talked about with Scotty about the fusion taco. You know, I'm also a big guy. We are big advocates of marijuana, and hey, that's where it's
Not
going.
this month. Well, not you.
Well, not me. Not
I'm
this
a little.
month.
I think my dad told you in the podcast that I was raised with my grandpa. I'm a little old school, but
Yeah,
but
I mean it's
as long-
understandable.
as long as it puts money in the business.
Yeah, man.
Está bien.
I think that's the other thing. Electric cars, I mean, obviamente apples and oranges, pero es para allá va. I think that, you know, I have my son, he's 5. I think that by the time he's 18, I'll probably be able to send him to 7-Eleven to get me some weed. I mean, it's just going to be, it's going to be like beer. It's the same thing. And why not jump on it early? Because we were not there when the beer was, you know, fucking being legalized.
Legalized, yeah.
Yeah, so now if you can jump on it, like, why not? I mean,
I guess you're right about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you're the first one to come up with an idea.
es que look at it. If we don't, yeah, wait, see that? If we don't do it at Totonilco, fucking Chipotle is gonna do it, those assholes.
Yeah.
And I'd rather we do it, you know?
Yeah, that is true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
And
That
then
is
we're gonna be
true.
like, man, fuck Chipotle. Same thing, like,
And I guess there's more of a. I'm sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I think there's more of a movement for pot than there is for vegan food. You know,
Correct.
because that's one thing I told my dad. He's like, well, we should do a vegetarian or what's plant-based meat taco. I'm all like,
that's a tough one
I'm like,
too,
con
man.
todo respeto there, I'm like, I gotta disagree with you. I'm all like, we've lived off of meat.
Yeah.
I'm all like, and I don't personally agree with plant-based meat because that's actually
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
ask
not-
you.
that's
I was
actually-
gonna ask you what's your take.
you
on
should
it.
see the shit that they put
They
in
put
there.
a lot of
It's
shit in there.
bad.
A lot of ingredients.
It's
It's
not
not,
good.
it's not like
good,
just
yeah.
damn carrots and lettuce and it's like
Nah.
no, it's some weird stuff.
That's why
So-
they call it the Impossible Burger.
Yeah. And we had to try it. We had to try it for class and take a selfie for extra credit. Y sepa qué tanto.
Selfie.
Yeah.
Possible water.
And it was a weird taste, different taste. It was more artificial tasting, for sure. Like they
course.
le pusieron el charcoal taste by force. No, para que sepa.
Lo inyectaron
Like
con
the
carbón, el hijo de la
Exacto.
chingada.
Like the McRib.
So-
Oh, that's nasty, bro.
Those were two.
Not even any bones in it.
The McRib was actually created in my college.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
They
awesome.
they came out with that cut.
God damn you, Nebraska.
They probably made millions on that. But those were two big topics when I was in college. Was plant-based meat, and the worst one, lab-grown meat.
Who?
Lab-grown meat.
Oh shit.
So you never heard of lab-grown meat?
No.
I don't think they've legally have let it out yet, and I hope they don't. What they were doing is they were grabbing stem cells from fetuses.
Oh.
From becerro fetuses. They would, like, let's say a pregnant cow goes into a slaughterhouse. They'd cut her open, the fetus comes out. They take out the stem cells and they would put it on petri dishes in the lab, and they would put the correct nutritions, and that cell would multiply and make a patty in a petri dish, like los plásticos redondos. I don't know if you remember them in school that you would put under the microscope.
Okay.
That's a petri dish. So they've been growing these patties, experimenting and growing patties, meat in petri dishes. And companies, I think it's called Beyond Meats. Beyond Meats,
yep.
They're making a push to try and legalize it and put it out on the shelves. Their argument was that they were going to use less resources, porque una vaca toma tantos galones de agua, que come esto, que come el otro. They were trying to, make it into a more greener side and grow it in warehouses, and I see it.
They're trying to dress it up, put makeup on it.
Dress it up. And that was a big fight in the market because, first of all, si pasa eso, le vas a quitar el jale a todos los rancheros. Second of all, that's not natural, dude.
Yeah.
That's not damn. They wanted to make it so they don't have to put the origin of the meat. And the ranchers were saying, at least if you guys are gonna legalize it, let the USDA make it a law that they gotta put on the box that this came from lab grown meat.
Shit.
And this meat came from un rancho. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's still a big debate because they're still trying to legalize it.
So they were doing that at your college?
No, as in that was the main topic.
Okay.
Because there was other companies that were trying to push for this.
You didn't try that though, did you?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's been still FDA. I don't know, a USDA approved, more like it. Pero pues las compañías que traen dinero y traen conexiones con la política.
Yeah, if it's profitable for them, they're gonna figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
But I think the people, I believe a lot of society would go against it.
You'd be surprised, right?
You are right about that, because thinking about vegans and vegetarians, they're so damn mixed up with information. Y te dicen unas.
And no disrespect to the vegans that are gonna.
No disrespect.
But
no
you guys are on some shit.
Shout out, right?
They are on some shit, bro. The vegans. It's not as healthy as they think it is, man.
Like for all the vegetarians and vegans, I'd invite you guys to go see a ranch or go to their farm and let them show you how animals are raised.
Right.
Are you guys big into Yellowstone? The show Yellowstone?
I'm not huge on it.
I watched a little.
I watched it.
Oh, you guys watched a little. Well, in one of the episodes, there's a vegan activist that's going around in Montana, stop ranchers and stuff like that. Y el ranchero se la llevó a su rancho para enseñarle cómo
está el pedo ahí.
Yeah, cómo está el pedo. And she's like, wow, I didn't know that you guys cared this much. It's a show, right?
Right.
But she's like, I didn't know that you cared about this much.
Steak at the end.
She actually slept with the rancher.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
real meat. She got the real meat.
She got the real meat. That's not that impossible shit.
That's no impossible burger.
The real
Hell
meat.
yeah.
Hell
You got that's on Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah, Paramount. I think we watched it on
I recommend you check out Outer Range. Have you heard of that?
I've heard. My friend has told me to get into it.
Awesome one. It's awesome.
Outer Range. You saw it, but you said that you didn't get into it.
Oh yeah, that's a really good show, man.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the one in the lakes of Ozarks.
Oh, the Ozarks is awesome. That's my Compas
Are you
favorite.
thinking about Outer Banks?
Outer Range.
Outer Range?
Yeah, Outer.
It's not Outer Banks, right?
No, Outer.
Okay.
Outer.
Okay.
It's where there's a big ass hole in the middle of a ranch. And I love it because it's kind of alien based, but pobres vacas, bro. Las pinches vacas son, the aliens love the cows, bro. Skinwalker Ranch, bro, they always mutilate the cows. I don't fucking get it. The cows, pobrecillas, they get off. I want to see the cows because when you noticed, stress levels, I didn't know that the fucking cows get stressed out, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like they get like heart attacks and shit like that or something. I seen the Skinwalker.
Depends on the breed, depends on everything.
Yeah. I had no idea. I'm being serious. Skinwalker Ranch, check it out. The cows, you can see them fucking just going crazy, getting all fucking paranoid. Aliens trying to eat their ass or something.
Talking about crazy cows,
Give me a fucking. You see a UFO in Nebraska?
no. Oh, there was
He's like, there was one and aliens.
No,
The whole
this was when we went to New Zealand. I think there was all over the news in Nebraska that there was drones going around to different people's ranches.
Where in Nebraska?
Yeah, like there were like little mini drones, like negros, yo creo, y that they were going all over, but they were being sighted in different cities. And like people were going crazy, like, why are they on my land? Este el otro. Some people were like, I'm gonna shoot one, with the shotgun.
I thought they were drones.
And I don't know. Yeah, you're right. But then the cops, I think, had put something out that they'll get fined that they shoot it. But even it was a cop investigation too. So it's like, if you're also saying don't shoot one, and why don't you want to get it? So there's a lot of conspiracies that came out of that. They were saying that out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, there was some bunkers right there con no sé qué top secret stuff. But going back to the crazy cow story, just like a month ago, y un saludo al compa Ishi que me ayudó ese día. I had just bought in 3 steers and put them out on grass, and I was on the phone with actually Cito because I had bought it from Cito. And I opened the door, and I swear you, not even a minute, los dejé en el potrero. 2 eran calmados y había uno cebocillo. I think you've seen those cebus, the one that had the hump. But they said, I don't know, cebocillo crossed, got out of the trailer, was high-headed, just like, where the hell am I? And ran right through the damn fence. Y se fue para la calle. I'm like, shit. And I'm like, Ciro, I'll call you right now. I'm like, that mini cebocillo just got out. So ya lo colgué y tenía el caballo dentro de la trailer. So ya lo agarré, me lo fui al azar. And he went into a subdivision and roped him right there. And then I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? Y ya le hablé a Ishi because Ishi lives like really close to us. I'm like, hey, come help me, dude. I'm like, se me salió ese risa. Ay, pendejo, este y el otro. Because it's not the first time the animals get out of the property. I had the goats all summer long coming out all the time. But I didn't know that we had roped this steer earlier in practice, and it was a good roping, good little practice steer, right? But I think his cebocito side came out of him, his breed side of him, because he was pissed off. He started ramming the horse, ramming me. I'm like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
Nah, man, he's seen something, man.
Yeah, so.
That's what I'm going to go with. Right now, it's a thing. There's another movie called Nope, and it's about out in the ranch, too.
Is that, yeah. I saw the trailer for that. It looks like a weird movie. You saw it?
It's an I seen it. I watch all that weird shit. It's an
Loved
alien
it.
movie too, bro.
Yeah.
But it's about a black rancher family. I don't know if it's in Texas, but they, animals just start acting weird, and it's literally a UFO. It's cool. Nope. Go check it out. I think it's that guy. What's his name?
The guy that came out on
Others? Oh no. Them.
Is that the one where he's dating a white girl?
Yeah.
And he goes to
with the teacup.
Yeah, it's like weird ass movie.
That's him. It's the guy, the black dude with the big eyes, right?
Yeah.
He's awesome, bro.
Que lo más se queda así.
So go check out Nope and go check out Outer Range if you want to see some cool farms like out in the fucking farmy alien-y shit. Oscar, bro, it was a fucking pleasure, man.
Well, thank you.
I had mentioned to you earlier that we want to bring you on occasionally here. We have frequent guests, recurring topics, and you're gonna be our new animal. You're like our young Dr. Poe. I mean, if we can,
we're gonna have.
We would go out to the
next time.
Let's go to the fucking ranch and fucking bam, get in there.
You're down? You gotta do it
fucking
first.
put on a glove.
Yeah,
can
we gotta do it first?
Hopefully, on one of these podcasts, we could do a off-site podcast. Do it in the middle of a goat roping or something. You guys interview some different people, get drunk, go have some fun.
I was thinking more like the insemination, artificial insemination. I'm down for that.
You're down to stick your hand in the cow's ass.
You just want to, yeah.
Hey, man.
That's just weird, dude.
This is it though. You know what? Whatever, dude.
Hey,
content.
Can it be as weird as this?
I mean,
little mushroom. We'll do some mushrooms and then go do that.
Shit, we'll probably find some mushrooms there in the cow's shit,
cow's ass.
then in the cow's ass. No mames.
Muchísima. Anybody. Hey, we'll have some fucking some fucking balls or something, you know? Para que mi compa Bart los pruebe los hijos de la chingada.
You know what?
Anybody you want to send a shout out, man, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I really want to thank my dad, my grandmother, my whole family for todo el apoyo. Y los que la verdad introduced me to the team roping, like I said, was Ciro López and Joe Ontiveros y sus familias. La verdad que se los agradezco y ahí estamos.
Hell yeah. We appreciate you. We appreciate your dad, Scotty Muñoz. Obviously,
sure.
we didn't mention in the beginning, the fit shows everything. Taquería Totonilco, one of our main sponsors for el Guacpod. Se los encargamos como siempre. But Oscar will be a recurring guy with us. We're going to just go and talk farm, man. We love it. I mean, como te dijimos, you know, we're curious. We're gonna learn more to be able to ask you more. And then, so you can come over here and educate us.
For sure.
And people that check it out, man, let us know. Leave your comments. Keep subscribing. Thank you very much for following us. Mi compa Mexican Jay-Z. Thank you very much on the camera, on the audio. Mi compa Bart, all good?
Gracias. All good.
And honestly, if some of our viewers want to put up some good questions to do, we could do a Q&A next time.
Oh, yeah, man.
Or we'll
comment
do some,
down below.
We'll do something cool,
We'll do
man.
some hands-on stuff.
Yeah, we would love to do some
This
fucking
dude's
cool
ready
shit.
to stick his hand up a cow.
I am fucking ready, man. Let's do something. Let's do something. I mean, this is what it's all about. We gotta educate ourselves, man. That's the only way we're gonna progress in life. Ah, huevo, a meter mano. Ahora sí, literalmente a meter mano. Ya se la saben, mis compas. Read a book. Ahí estamos.
Hell yeah.
Ding dong, ding dong, dong,